as some context to that, I'm going to bring in a person I worked with when I first started doing the work on assets. When I first came into kind of looking at racial wealth and equality, and that was work by Dr. Trina Shanks, which I know Willie knows, you all know, and we authored a paper called "How Wealth Shapes Opportunity for Children," and part of our findings, or a major part of our findings, is that families need both income and assets in order to see some of these other kind of outcomes that we'd love to see our children meet. Um, and the idea that income has to be coupled with assets, and not usually just one asset, usually a portfolio of assets, was really the grounding in which I started this work so many years ago. And so I've always strongly believed in understanding how our economy functions, that folks need something right now. They need to have their basic needs met, right? All the things that we need income for. But our north star should always be wealth, right? That's the protector. That's going to keep us from experiencing any kind of economic catastrophe at any time, whether it's a pandemic or whether it's a divorce or a job loss, right? And so it's not something that we talked about. This is really kind of recent when you think about the work around wealth. So Generations Ahead was really an idea I started to work on as a narrative change approach, right? To think about really seeding assets for future generations. And, it was clear to me from the very beginning, as folks were talking about, and all these kind of GI pilots were starting to take form, that it's not just income that's going to really transform people's lives. It will have to be assets along with income. And so, Generations Ahead was really that approach. It was still also narratively and cognitively an approach that we had to really think about this and to move this conversation to past just guaranteed income, and couple it more with what people have been talking about, which were CSAs and baby bonds. So the idea that we need to seed a generation, it seemed to me very urgent, um, something that we can't continue to wait on. Um, Although I'm a proponent, I believe in baby bonds, but in a certain way, I believe we need something that will help us show what people need today, not 18 years from now, but today, for young adults today, right? So the idea was to really have a bolstered GI pilot that would start with income, and knowing all the things that income can allow people to do, and what we've seen in some of the pilots to date, that is pay off certain debts, that is be able to begin to plan some saving, putting savings away, changing jobs, right? Really being able to maneuver in your life. And my feeling has always been is people need some breathing room so they can think about and they can dream towards something bigger. And so this lays a foundation for what it would mean if individuals or families could get access to a large amount of funds for assets, something that they can build on, something that they could pass on, right? So that's Generations Ahead. It's a coupling of this, of guaranteed income and assets. I know that there's some people saying that they're piloting that right now. I believe Grow in Georgia is one entity. Um, but really kind of going bigger scale with it, going more than just some of the lower level amounts that we've seen today. Just wanted to go bigger with it as well, so we can see what it really can do.